It's gorgeous out. Let's pop some ducks.
This is the UpDuck Podcast, a blend of upland and waterfowl hunting. Tune in as your hosts, Tyler Beaton, Jeff Ludicky, Matt Jeske, chat about training dogs and share their bird hunting stories, tactics, and strategies.
All right, boom, beep, I should say, welcome back to another episode of the UpDuck Podcast. This is a special edition podcast here, right? No Matt, no Jeff. This is going to be like a shorter version with a really interesting story. From today is December 17th. Probably rip this out. It might be December 18th when you're listening to this, or the 19th. We'll see. We're talking pheasant hunting in the great state of Wisconsin. We're keeping it local here with a story from one of our guests. And we have two guests tonight. First time I think we've ever had two guests. So I will get them introduced. The first one is firefighter extraordinaire, big buck killer, duck slayer, pheasant shooting machine, John Anderson, a good friend of mine who I've trained with before. He's going to tell us a story. And then Mr. Dave Nelson, a.k.a. Mr. Cock Patrol on the old Instagram. And no, it's not what you think it is if you have not seen that page, okay? So get your head out of the gutter. So, Gentlemen, welcome. Welcome, John, and welcome back, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Absolutely. So, John, we're going to start with you, okay? You woke up this morning, you didn't have to work. What did you decide you were going to do?
Well, I finally had a day where the kid was in daycare and didn't have too big of a chore list to get done for the day. And I was going to go out pheasant hunting. And I haven't been out in like 6 weeks due to my schedule. And couldn't decide where I wanted to go. So I texted Tyler and made him make a decision for me.
That is true. Yes. I said, hey, why don't you go to this spot? Because you'll probably see less people, which is always a glorious thing, right? Yeah. You know, there's enough crazies out there on the public lands of Wisconsin. Some of them are very friendly, right? And like, you know, just regular Joes. And some of them are they're a little crazy. Dave can tell us some stories here. So John, you went out to this spot and what happened? You went hunting?
Yeah, showed up kind of where you had told me to go, and parked the truck, got the labs out. I had both of them with me today, and I on my tracker went about 3.5 miles on one side, and didn't see a single track in the snow. Saw some footprints, not a lot of foot traffic in there, but my dogs didn't put up any birds. Got a couple dead ones that were under the snow. And on the way back, I was like, all right, well, it's going to be about time. Been out here a few hours and heading back towards the truck, hit the snowmobile trail for a nice, easy walk back. And when I got to the road, I was like, well, I'll just go across the other side. Do one more little loop, you know. Went back, did another loop. We pulled one bird out of the woods. And I was pretty satisfied. My dogs were getting tired, so took them back and loaded up in the truck. And as I got into the truck, I see the DNR chicken truck showing up, and I could see they're getting ready to release.
Yep. And if you are not from Wisconsin and you haven't heard any of us talk about this topic before, the state of Wisconsin has a stocking program, right? So the DNR has properties that they stock to increase the chances for folks to go out and pheasant hunt, because Wisconsin doesn't have, there's just not enough habitat. There's too many predators to really sustain a wild population. This isn't North Dakota or Iowa or South Dakota or Nebraska. It's just there's not enough there. The DNR stocks provides hunting opportunities for folks like all three of us on this podcast. And what John saw was the chicken truck, the DNR, pulling up to drop some birds. All right. Sorry.
All good. So
keep going.
I'm in the truck's running, dogs are loaded up, collars are off, ready to head home. And I see the truck pulling up. And as soon as I see the truck, I catch in my rearview mirror a car right behind him, like an older Grand Marquis or something. And I see the thing's just full of blaze orange and dogs hanging out the windows. And I'm like, no way. So I pull my phone out and I record. I zoom in, see the back of the, the DNR stocking truck, and here's this car coming right behind it. I mean, the whole video was 7 seconds, so they were like damn near on the tailgate of the DNR stocking truck. And I'm like, wow, that actually happens. Like, I've only seen it on, Facebook, or heard of people crying and complaining about, the truck chasers and people following the truck around, and they know when they drop them and whatever else. So I didn't think too much of it, but I was like, oh, I've never really seen this before. And as I'm sitting there, I saw that car pull down, and they looped around, and they sat there and waited, watching the DNR release their birds. And then here comes another truck behind me with a guy with orange in it. He keeps going, and he pulls off to the side. Then up ahead, I see another pickup coming with a cap on it, and they stop on the side of the road. So there's 3 vehicles within less than 60 seconds that had pulled up within the DNR truck getting there. And I'm like, no way. This is as real as people complain about. I'm like, I've never seen this before. And I'm pretty sure I sent the video to Tyler right away and called him. I'm like, dude, this is insane. So I pulled up and I hopped out, and I actually went and talked to the people releasing. And I was like, is this normal that you guys just get followed around the spots and they just watch you release birds and then go and shoot them right away? And they played it off a little bit, but like, could see a grin on their face. Like, yeah, it's a thing. And so they stocked, one portion, and I had only shot 1 bird. And I'm like, well, I guess here we go. I'm going to be one of those guys that's a, truck chaser, even though I'd already been out there for a few hours, but I'm going to go get my last bird. I'm going to go and shoot one. So I waited for the truck to pull out of there. Well, they pulled right into another spot on the other side of the road where I had already been into initially. I'm like, oh, wow, they're actually stocking like both parts of this, And as that truck pulled down that road, and like, I mean, they weren't back there for 2 minutes. So they had to have just drove back there, started releasing birds. I can hear people shooting already, like minimum 10, 15 rounds. So those other vehicles that were out there, those people just showed up and were shooting. I was literally watching them shooting, could hear them shooting as the birds were still cackling, flying out of the back of the DNR truck. Like, I guess that's the kind of hunting that they're doing. And in the midst of the birds cackling coming out of the DNR truck and the guns a blasting, I just hear people screaming at their dogs, no bird, or come here. I mean, it was ridiculous. And I had gotten out of the truck this time, collared up my dogs, and I was going to head to the spot where they had first dumped and just go clean up, try to get one more bird out of it. That took about 15 seconds. Wasn't really that much fun. But while I'm out there, I just hear like constant shooting and people screaming at their dogs. And I'm on my way back after having already shot my second bird then. And I just then am seeing the DNR truck pulling out of where they were at. So all that had happened while that truck was still back there releasing birds.
That's insane. Like, I just don't, that's insane to me. I can't, like, I have seen it where I have pulled in and like got my dog out and started walking, and there were like 4 or 5 vehicles in the parking lot, and I couldn't figure out what they were doing. And then I figured out later that they were waiting for the bird truck to show up that never actually showed up. But I've never seen the bird truck pull in, and that's why it sounds like people were shooting the birds as they were coming off the truck and still flying.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident there were birds that went from the crate to a bag, like never even hit the ground alive. They were literally being shot flying out of the truck. And, I've seen this on people complaining on Facebook, Wisconsin pheasant, whatever, and complaining about it, people crying about it. And I figured that's just people with crappy dogs that complain, or they don't work hard enough to get back there and pick out a bird or two over a couple miles, No, it's real. That definitely happens. That by the time I left, there were 6 vehicles there, not counting me and not counting the DNR truck. And this is all within 10 minutes.
That is crazy. I mean, like, it's hard to comprehend, right? Like, it really is. Well, as Dave, we'll wait for, hopefully he can pop back in here too. Like, it's Dave, can you hear us, Dave?
Yeah. Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Did you catch that story?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. It's hard to comprehend that. Like, I don't, there's folks, right? I mean, and Jeff has very strong opinions about this topic. So it's probably good he's not here. And like, I've heard the same thing, right? It's people that chase the trucks, right? They take away from working folks who can't get out during the week. I mean, I can see that, right? I mean, that firsthand account of how that can actually come to fruition. And I think it's like, it's not just that they're shooting all the birds, but they're pushing birds like way deep, way back too, right? Or even off the property potentially.
Yep. Yeah, I wish, I know you and I've talked about it, but I really do wish they would just go do a 2:00 close or noon. Just keep it year round. Yeah.
Because it's not like I don't want to make this like a complaining session, because this is really not like a DNR issue. This is like people being crappy kind of issue. Like it just to me, that's what it is. This isn't a DNR problem. They're going to have to solve it if they can even get through all the red tape to actually solve it. It's just other hunters sort of taking advantage of the system, and I mean, it doesn't feel super sporty. I know we're shooting pen race birds, so how much sport, that's so subjective, but how sporting is it actually? And then it just, I don't know, it just kind of sucks. It doesn't feel real great. I mean, it sounds horrific. I'd be afraid I was going to get shot, John, by the way. I don't know how you felt.
So when I was standing out, like just getting the dogs out of the truck, there was one gentleman that pulled up, he pulled up in front of me and then backed up. I mean, he was right in front of me. You know the area, Tyler. There's plenty of places to park. He parked right there in front of me and hopped out, and he was, I don't know, 55 or so, younger, older guy compared to the rest of the individuals that I saw out there. But he came and he's like, "Oh, they're dropping, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "They're over on this side now." I'm like, I think that's where I saw him go, And he's like, "Okay." And he was on his phone talking to someone. I could hear his conversation. "Yep, they're here. Yep, they just dropped, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, man, that not only, I can understand how fast word could spread, but the fact that 6 trucks were there in the time that the DNR truck was still on the property, that's not just word of mouth. That's people following them from their start point, from where they're, boxing the birds and taking them out there.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I had a buddy that used to be the stocking truck driver, and he told me that it got to the point where sometimes they would have dummy trucks, because people would literally line up on the road and wait for the trucks to pull out, and then people would immediately follow the trucks.
In Wisconsin.
Yep.
Wow.
So they started sending trucks out first that didn't even have birds. They put crates on them, but no birds in them, and people would take off and follow those trucks, and then the actual stocking truck would go out.
That's crazy.
That's wild. It's wild.
I will say, when I talked to the individuals releasing, they when I had asked them, is this normal? Do people just follow you around, And they said, well, normally we wait until people are out of the field and done hunting. And they told me, we watched you walk out of the field and get into your truck, and then we pulled up. I'm like, well, A, that's kind of cool, because I wouldn't really want, 50 birds flying over my dog's heads out of nowhere, like a tower shoot, right? But B, kind of makes it a little bit more had they waited a little longer, I never would have saw them, but yet I was still in my truck getting the dogs, downed and everything. And then I saw them pull up, but that only goes so far, waiting for people to be done, because obviously there was 6 people behind them that knew that they were going to that location at that exact time.
Yep. Well, the problem too is it'd be one thing if we could just blame it like we usually do on millennials and be like, it's young people, but it's never young people.
I was the youngest person out there by a lot of years, by twice my age, besides one guy.
Yeah.
And I'm 34.
God, this dang computer. All right. Now I'm there. Did you catch me there? Before I cut out?
No, go for it. Yeah. Say it again.
It'd be one thing too, like you said, it'd be one thing if we could blame this as like a millennial issue, but it's always older guys. Every
I've only
single
had
time.
one experience, so I can't say always, but from my experience, times the 6 vehicles that were there, they were all 55 plus.
Yep. Yeah, I
But
don't.
how
I
many
don't quite
people at
understand it.
30, 40 years old are off on I don't even know what day it is, Wednesday in the middle of the day,
Right.
Due to my
Yeah.
work schedule, I can do that. But not a lot of people are.
Yeah. I used to have a little bit more flexibility than I have now. And so I could like sneak out, but usually middle of the day is never an option for me. It's mornings or, at the tail end of the day where I could kind of sneak out and sort of massage my schedule. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard. It's the system. It is what it is right now. And Dave, I do agree with you that, right, going to like a 2 o'clock like close and then just stocking after that close, right? I mean, that's really the solution, right?
Yeah.
Well, they have properties that do that. I'm pretty sure like spots in Allenton and stuff are like that Monday through Friday. And
Yep.
but why aren't all the spots like that? And why, or does it stop at a certain time during the year? I can't exactly recall the regs on it, but
It's November. I think it's like November 13th or something like that.
Okay.
That all those properties turn to
free
an all day. No noon closure or 2 p.m. closure anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's, like the other thing that we're balancing here, right, is right that the purpose of the stocking program is to provide hunting opportunities. And the DNR that like we had Taylor Finger on, he's the bird ecologist for the DNR. And, his job is to provide like the best, most opportunities for us hunters to have an opportunity at game. So disclosing a property early take away from that potentially, right? Like Dave, if you're sneaking out after work, right, and then you don't have that opportunity now because all the properties are closed at 2 p.m. But it does give, the birds a chance to hit the ground, and make it feel like more of a hunt versus a, shoot fish in a barrel kind of thing.
Or,
Yep.
I mean, why couldn't the DNR go out and do it after hours? Shooting's done at 4:30 right now or whatever it may be. Go out and it's not like it's a task or a job that takes daylight to do.
True, but I mean, they're people, they're regular people, and I think they have more standard hours probably.
Sure.
I'm guessing, right? I used to,
Government jobs.
But there's a way. I feel like there's a way. I think that, right, that the solution, like Dave and I, you and I chatted today a little bit, like the solution really feels like the early close on that. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but an early close.
Yeah, and I mean where they do have it is in places where there's heavy population of people, right?
Yes.
So like up by me, I'm kind of up near Beaver Dam. There aren't any. I mean the most heavily populated area I would say where I run into guys a lot is Waterloo, and that's not even doesn't have a closure time. So it is hard, and I get to like, for us to just say it, like you said, like these people, it's their job. So do they really want to go at 5 o'clock, or into October, it's what, 6 o'clock, 6:30 that they'd be going out. Because I mean, you'll even run into some of the guys, like if they pheasant hunt, I've talked to them, they'll drive into the properties and they'll dump them. And there's a little, I don't want to say it's like strategic, but they'll drive into the property, and then then you got people complaining that there aren't birds far into the property, that they're all on the edge. So I mean, we can complain about a lot of things with it, but I think to just go to a straight noon closure Monday through Friday, all the way from the day it opens till the day it closes, would be ideal for everybody.
I feel like the deer hunters would also love that too.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely would. That's actually a good point.
Well, so yeah, and I was on the OK Hunter podcast last night. We had a big like shindig podcast, a bunch of people, and I was talking with Derek Malcor, who is like big public land, big buck killer extraordinaire. The dude is a genius. Like he looks at a map and I'm like, oh, cool. That's a nice looking public land spot. And he sees like, he looks at the map, he's scouting. He's like, yep, they're going to bet here, here, and here, and here. I mean, he's a wizard, but he was talking about spots that have that early closure. And he's like, I love that because like pheasant hunters come through. He's like, and I can predict right where the deer are going to go or be after everybody leaves the field. And so I do think that probably is real. I mean, I don't have any other solutions though, and
There really aren't any.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it just stinks. Yeah, because I mean, Dave, you've got some stories too about people encountering the bird truck too, and it's not great.
No, it's never good. It's just selfish. Like, yeah, I told you the one story today. I pulled into a spot and the truck was there, and it was after work, so it was a quick. I got 45 minutes, whatever it is, and I pull in. There's one truck there, and I can see roosters flying out of right on the horizon, one after another. And it finally clicked. And I'm like, well, I watch all the birds go to one corner of the property, and it's a fairly decent size. So I just decided I'd go to the other side, just run the dog. And I get to the truck, and there's a guy sitting there leaning up against the truck with a lab that was 20 to 30 pounds overweight, wind at his back. And as soon as that truck was done and he closed the pen gates, he went right down into that corner. That lab worked 70 to 80 yards in front of him, flushed every bird before he could get a shot, and all 20 birds flew over the tree line into private property where they will never come back to the public because it was all a slough and a marsh with a cornfield over there where they probably should have been anyway. And I ended up finding one leftover bird. And as I'm walking back across paths with the guy, and the guy, he literally looked at me and told me, "Thank you for ruining my hunt." And I thought he was kidding at first. And I was so irritated by what he had did. I said, "Well, thank you for ruining everybody's hunt for the rest of the week." And it's just unbelievable that people do that. But I don't know. Like you said, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just kind of a selfish thing. And like for me, I'm always preaching opportunity. So it's just kind of a double-edged sword. For me, like we said, once you get this late in the season, the releases become very limited. It's who knows if today was the last one, going into the holiday weekend here. It very well could be. So the whole premise of this release right now, they used to not release the week after, or the week, I guess would be the week before gun deer season. That was it. It's like a lot of people still have it in their mind that they call it pheasant season goes until the week before gun deer. That's pheasant season because that's when they release pheasants. Well, now there's enough people hunting and enough people doing. And then there was no stocking for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And then they did a holiday release, which is right now going into this weekend for kids that are off of school or college kids coming back. And when you got guys that go out there, like for you today, shooting them over the pine trees as they fly out of the gate, it's like, well, it's just defeating the purpose. The people that the birds, it's not like they're meant for certain people, but again, people that can only hunt on weekends or kids coming back from school, all.
Yeah. It's hard. It's not, it's not always great. I mean, there's still birds out there. There'll be stragglers out there. So like hopefully this weekend I'll be able to sneak out and, maybe I'll pick one bird up, maybe two if I'm lucky. I also have to hit those birds when they fly. There's the other piece of that too. So, it's interesting. It's a hot topic. And I just, John, like your story, I was blown away by some of the details on it though too. Right. Cause you experienced it. And then you called me and I was like, wow, like this is actually happening like right now. Like I want to capture this. Right. Cause I mean, it's so fresh and all the details are there too. Yeah. And it's good. I think, and I think it's good to have conversations like this about it. And just, raise awareness for people though too.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like however it works out, I guess it really doesn't make a difference to me because either way, I'm still going out and running my dogs to run them, whether or not we put up birds or not. And I would say that 9 times out of 10 on any given piece of public land that I take my dogs out on, we at least can scratch out a bird each time that we go out. Sometimes it takes, a whole lot of walking and some wet feet, but other times it's, they're right up there. And that I would have to assume I must have been there at just the right time after the truck was there or whatever it may have been. But the other side of it too is like, I would be. I don't know that I would necessarily be for the noon or 2 o'clock closure on all properties all year, Monday through Friday, because that's going to take away from a lot of opportunity for people that do want to just slip out after work, or like for me, I guess I would rather have more opportunities to go and be out there and maybe shoot a bird, maybe get lucky and get both, than be limited and be like, oh, well, it's a Tuesday, I'm off work, I, have to do this, that, and the other in the morning, but I can't go out now afternoon because they close it because people are too greedy and selfish about it. Like, that part sucks.
Yep.
Like, I've never had this experience before. I've been hunting in Wisconsin since, I don't know, many years, 15 plus years, over pretty good dogs, and have never really had an issue, putting up birds multiple days a week. And I've never had any experience like this before. I've only ran into seeing a truck out there actively releasing once in my life, which I feel like I'm kind of in the minority of that, because I feel like a lot of people see the truck out there more often than that, or they have some intel that I guess I just don't ever try and get for myself. But to me, I guess it wouldn't make a difference if they close it, or it would just be a negative difference if they closed it at noon.
Yep.
And that's the balance of it, right? You do take away that opportunity, John, just like you said. And so there's not really like a right way or a wrong way to do it. I mean, I think
you can't change the people.
Yeah, right. It's the issue is not, hey, like we should do this or that. The issue is just people taking advantage of the system.
Yeah. Because even this year around me, again, I'm not in a very highly populated area. I mean, I hunted a lot this year after work, and there were only 2 times that I ran into anybody.
Oh, wow.
So it's like
not around where I go.
Yeah, see, and where I grew up, I'm thinking I'm probably hunting where you hunt now, and yeah, there's a lot of pheasant hunters, a ton of them. So it's tough. Like I said, you got to balance it, and a lot of the hunting I did this year was during the week, after work. Like I enjoy the weekends, but it's kind of like you're going regardless. So the days where you have to hunt hard for 3 hours or 4 hours, depending on when sunset is, and grind out for one bird, it's still great. And if you go out the very next day and you happen to go and you shoot your limit in 15 minutes and flush 4 other ones because they just released, it's the plus. It's not that you purposely had it happen, but it's kind of like that icing on the cake thing. Where it's like, oh, it's nice when that happens every once in a while, and you're not having to,
Yeah.
I mean, this time of year, like Scotty and I mean, when we had our holiday hunt last year, that was a little different. But even after that, we hunted every single weekend until the season closed, and the goal is to just flush one. That's the goal. And chances are, I mean, there's 88 properties where they dump a total of 75,000 pheasants. If you start like we do, sunrise to sunset, there's a good chance you will flush one, but that's all you're hoping for. And we will hike 8 hours and hunt hard for 8 hours just to flush one pheasant. Right. So that is the beauty of Wisconsin with the stocking. It's like you said, there's birds that are out there still. I bet you, I don't know. I wish they would have a way to be able to track it, but it'd be cool to know if there was a way to be able to find out how many birds, if you shot one 2 weeks from now, to know if it was released a month and a half ago. Right.
Yep.
Because in some of these marshes, you can't get to them when it's wet. So if they get pushed back into those sloughs and people aren't chasing them, and then once it freezes, you get idiots like the 3 of us that are willing to go walk it, and you shoot a bird. It's like, well, how long has that thing been there?
Yep.
Probably pretty long.
Yep. Yeah. And I was at a spot today, not pheasant hunting, but I was at a spot today where that is the case, and I definitely want to go back there. But the walk back, even with it frozen, is going to suck. Horrendously suck. So gentlemen, we are at our 30-minute mark where we said we were going to wrap this baby up. Any final comments or final thoughts? Anything we missed? John, you can go first.
I don't think so. Just going to try and hang out a couple more public land hunts I can before the rest of the year, and it's tournament season now. So
that's right. You do that speed hunting stuff.
Yeah.
I like to pheasant hunt in tennis shoes. So, we don't judge over here. Maybe just a little bit. So
we do it all.
Yeah, that's right. Dave, any final thoughts or comments or anything we missed?
No, I guess. Yeah, you want guy. That's the easiest. Don't be that guy shooting him out of the truck.
Yep. It's probably a good final thought right there.
Yeah.
Perfect. And on that note, I'm going to hit the stop record button. We're going to wrap it up. We'll be back next week with a full episode. Matt and Jeff will be back too. So thanks for tuning in. If you have thoughts or comments on this, if you've experienced it, please let us know. Like, I mean, this is all about opinions and, expectations and experiences. So let us know what yours have been. And we'd love to have a conversation about it. Peace.